Okay, so here's our next warm-up, the continuous line drawing warm-up. Um, I used to call it, or sometimes I refer to it as the scribble drawing, but I don't like using that word because I sometimes feel like that word implies like mindlessly moving your hand around. Um, so here's what you're going to do. Um, you're going to make several, I don't know how many right now, drawings that span the time either 10 minutes all the way to 20 minutes. Um, I would recommend starting with shorter ones before you move on to the longer ones. The subject matter of choice is any object. Use your dominant hand, just means if you're right-handed, use your right hand. If you're left-handed, use your left hand. Try to keep continuous contact with the paper, just means don't lift up your pencils as much as you can. Try to resist it as much as you can. You're going to lift it every once in a while, but try to just keep it to a minimum. I say don't look at your drawing, but you're going to look. Again, you can cheat and peek every once in a while, but I would try to not look at your drawing too much. Look more at the subject matter. And I want you to use your softer pencils, so the 2B, 3B, 4B. So hopefully you have those by now. Or um, you can use a pen, and any pen will work. The crappiest ballpoint pen can work. And I would recommend trying both. Like do some in pencil, do some in pen. Um, so the aim is to further develop the relationship between looking, feeling, and drawing by creating continuity in the looking drawing process by having a small gap as possible between looking at an object and making decisions and responding with a mark. So the idea being you're constantly in tune with the looking process. A lot of times, students what they do is it's hard for them to separate the fact that they're looking at something and then they're also trying to look at their drawing. So the object they're looking at sometimes takes a back seat and they forget about it and they start just maybe staring at their drawing, or there's just this huge disconnect between the subject matter they're looking at and their drawing, and this is to sort of get those two linked up together a little more. um, and the idea is that as your hands moving around, you're not mindlessly moving around. It's constantly about you gathering information and responding to that information. So this is sort of like the mantra in your head you should have. It's like you're looking, then drawing, looking, drawing, looking, drawing. Try to keep the pencil in contact with the paper while you're looking. Think of the process of being continuous, like fast windshield wipers, meaning you're sort of just looking and moving and moving and looking. And again, it isn't about mindlessly just moving your pencil around. If you can imagine my cursor's my pencil, it isn't just like flopping your hand around and you're just twitching your hand and mindlessly just scribbling. It's every time your hand moves, it should be in response to observation you made. So you're looking, gathering information, then responding to that information. Then when you don't know what to respond to anymore, you just don't know how to move your hand, go back to looking and gathering information, then drawing. Look, draw, look, draw. And this is a more like kind of scribbly, freer kind of flowing thing. I like this because it's like sometimes you do want to make lines that sort of go outside the edge, and it isn't always just hugging the edge and contour only. Like you're drawing inside of it, outside of it, even almost like you're drawing the air too. With this example, this is a more kind of like up and down kind of motion. It's very free. It's like nothing's precious, and you're not concerned about making delicate, perfect little. You're not coming in here trying to draw the eyelashes and get the perfect shape. You're just kind of, if anything, here you're just kind of. If you squint down, it looks exactly like a face because it's like all the shadows are in the right spot. You don't want to treat this as too precious. And this example is a blind contour, which we're not exactly doing that. I mean, I did tell you not to look at your drawing as much, but this is what I sometimes do this in my figure drawing class, where I have them cover their drawing so their hand is underneath a piece of paper, and they're looking at the model, and they're trying to not lift up their hand as much. And again, so it doesn't when they look, it doesn't look super realistic. It looks a little distorted and a little squat. This guy looks like he's been compressed. But the lines tend to look a lot more confident and more bold when they do the blind contour. And you can see it's like the lines feel like to me, it's like the lines in this drawing look like they're it's based on information that they were looking at. It's not based on trying to create. A lot of times when students draw, they draw symbols. Like they'll see a face and they'll be like, I got to draw a symbol for an eye, and I got to draw a symbol for a nose, and then a symbol for a head, which is kind of like a oval shape, and now I got to draw a symbol for a neck. They're not in. They're not. They're like in symbol mode. They're not in observational mode. And this example kind of line contour kind of forces them to sort of have their um, that symbol kind of mentality kind of go away. It's another blind contour, and again, when you're completely not looking at your drawing, the drawing can look like nothing, even though it's all in response to actual things that we're looking at. And then I want to end with this Giacometti drawing. I like his drawings because they're so free. Like you can kind of you can feel the speed of the movement. It feels, it's just flowing, and it kind of reminds me of like the same kind of flow people use to like sign their name when they're writing on a check or something. It's just flowing, free movement.